The Beatles' visit to Manila in 1966 was a controversial event that led to a major fallout with the Marcos family and the Filipino government. Imelda Marcos invited the Beatles to a reception at Malacanang Palace. However, their manager, Brian Epstein, declined the invitation, as the band typically avoided political engagements. The Marcos regime took this as an insult, prompting the local press to portray the Beatles as disrespectful to the First family. In retaliation, security and official assistance were withdrawn, leaving the band and their entourage vulnerable. At the airport, they faced harassment, lost their police escort, and were physically jostled, forcing them to flee the country. After the incident, the Beatles vowed never to return to the Philippines. They included the experience as one of the worst moments of their career. The hostility they faced in Manila contributed to their decision to stop touring later that year. Ringo Starr said, "I hated the Philippines. We arrived there with thousands upon thousands of kids, with hundreds upon hundreds of policemen, and it was a little dodgy. They also weren't prepared for the heat, humidity, squalor and abject chaos." George Harrison said it was really humid, it was Mosquito City, and we were all sweating and frightened. We had a whole row of cops with guns lining the deck around this cabin that we were in on the boat. When the Beatles arrived at Manila International Airport to leave the country, they found even more vicious demonstrators ready to antagonize them. As the Beatles made their way into the terminal, the situation turned violent, with the angry mob pushing, grabbing, and spitting on the band members and their entourage, even beating their road manager and a few others. The only way the band escaped into the airport unharmed was by mixing in with the group of Filipino monks and nuns who happened to be walking in, too. Finally, the frantic band was able to check in and board their flight. Paul McCartney said, "When we got on the plane, we were all kissing the seats." However, their adventure in the Philippines wasn't over. The Beatles were waiting for the plane to take off when the door opened, and military police and officials boarded. They escorted the band's managers off, who were scared they were going to be thrown in jail or even executed. The managers were forced to surrender all of the proceeds from the concert the night before to the tax authorities, leading John Lennon to later remark about the Philippines, "If we go back, it will be with an H-bomb. I won't even fly over that place." Don't forget to subscribe and follow for more interesting topics. Also, drop a comment with your country so I can see where you're watching from. Your support means a lot.